handling everything that life throws at you, handling it in such a way that it doesn't bother you, good or bad thing that happened in your life doesn't really bother you. You are just E aí galera, tudo bom com vocês? And welcome back to Abi Talks. In today's video, I'll be talking about something completely different from what I usually talk about. But I'm still gonna do my utmost best to show you guys the relationship part of this whole thing that I'll be talking about. Now, what I'll be talking about is Stoicism, which is an ancient philosophy. Now, this is a philosophy that I follow on a regular basis, and of course, I'm not the best Stoic person out there, but I do my utmost best to follow this philosophy, and I'm gonna show you guys how to do the same thing or how you can use it in your relationships, in your life, and in everything that this life throws at you. Because let's be honest, this life that we live, it throws a whole bunch at you, and if you're not mentally ready, then you're just gonna fall apart. Man, I sound like David Goggins. But anyway, I'm gonna show you guys how to use this philosophy. But before I do that, let me just summarize what this whole philosophy is all about. Now, this whole philosophy is about handling everything that life throws at you, handling it in such a way that it doesn't bother you, good or bad thing that happened in your life doesn't really bother you. You are just mentally strong enough to handle whatever this life throws at you. Now, that right there is a perfect mindset, right? I think there's not a single person in this world who wouldn't want to be resilient, happy, and just wise. And this is what the whole philosophy is about: being resilient, being happy, and just being wise, being able to handle everything that this life throws at you. And how do you do that? Well, the way you do that is following something that I believe every Stoic person has in common. And that's, of course, focusing on things that you can control. Now, if you do that, or when you do that, you'll see that you'll be less stressed and you'll just be happy because you'll be focusing on things that you can control. Now, when it comes to school, when it comes to uni, when it comes to life, when it comes to relationship, using this philosophy can make you happy. I've said that already. But how do you use it? I'll give you guys an example when it comes to relationship because, well, I usually talk about relationships. So when it comes to relationship, you can use this by just focusing on things that you can control. And what are those things? Just culpe un momento. Uh, Sorry about that. My throat is it's painful, so I have to keep myself hydrated. Anyway, how can you use this in your relationships? When it comes to your relationship, you focus on things that you can control. And what are those things? So the things that you can control in your relationship is making your lover feel loved unconditionally, genuinely, making them feel wanted, you know, being the most lovable person, and so on and so forth. Those are basically a few things that you have in control or under control or in your control. And what your partner does with that is completely out of your control. Now, when you focus on things that are out of your control, even in relationships, in life, in school, you're always gonna be stressed out. When you focus on what your partner is doing, like you're just gonna be stressed out. All you have to do is basically focus on things that you can control. You do that in your relationships, you do that in your school, in your life, then you're gonna be less stressed with everything that life is gonna throw at you. Now, when it comes to what example can I give again? When it comes to basically working, school, or career, it doesn't matter. You focus on things that you can control. For example, as I'm shooting this video, what I can do is just focus on what I can control. What I can control is the quality of the video, the topic that I'm talking about, and things like that. How you guys receive it, how you react to it, that is completely out of my control. And if I judge myself based on how you guys react to this, how this video performs, then obviously I'm gonna be sad. I'm gonna be I'm gonna feel low. I'm gonna feel like, you know what, I didn't work hard enough for this. But if I focused on what I did, which is of course the topic that I spoke about, the video quality, how long the video was, and things like that, then I can focus more on actually improving for the next video. You know what I mean? I hope I'm making sense. Now, this is just an example of how you can use this whole philosophy. You can apply this in your relationship. You can apply this at school, at work, in life. You can apply this philosophy, and you'll see that when you do that, you're gonna be less stressed. You're gonna be more happy, and you'll just be focusing on things that you can do. Now, this is something that I wish people told me as I was growing up, because you don't hear this every single day. And we end up just focusing on things that we can't control. When you get to school, when you get to uni, you focus on things that you can control. Whereas you're supposed to be focusing on things that you can control, which is the work that you put in. Now, if you focus on the work that you put in relationships, man, even in work, at school, you'll see things are going to start changing. You won't judge yourself. You won't judge yourself based on how people receive everything that you're doing. Instead, you have to judge things on how much work you actually put in. Now, I know this can also be stressful because sometimes you put in so much work, man. Even in relationships, you put in so much work, and then you just find out at the end of a year or so, things don't work out. But remember, just focus on things that you can control. When you do that, then you will, of course, next time, you will try to do things differently. So don't focus on what other people do, how other people react, relationships, work. Just focus on what you can control. Now, this is a philosophy, like I said, that I follow on a day-to-day basis. And of course, I'm not the best stoic person out there, but I do my utmost best, and it works every now and then. It can also be stressful, but when you focus on things that you can control, then you feel like you have your power back, because you can control it. You have the power back. And that's just something that I thought, let me share it with you guys. You can apply this on your relationships. You can apply this at work, at uni, in life. It's up to you how you want to apply this. But I thought I should share it with you guys. Even in relationships, I think this works perfectly. It works perfectly when you focus on what you can do, what you have under control, which is how you make your partner feel, what you do for your partner, and things like that. What your partner does is out of your control. Can be stressful, but unfortunately, it's out of your control. And all you have to do is just focus on what you can control, be the most lovable person, making your partner feel loved, cared for, supported, and things like that. Galera, that's the end of the video. If you have any question, if you have any thing that you want to add, just feel free to leave it down in the comment section, and don't forget to give this a thumbs up, and we'll meet again in the next video. Adios.